if you're driving by Lawn Grove, the bridge might be hit on like the up teens time, but it's a good town, and like a good place that Waller's built up. The first time when we went to the ice cream shop, I was like, yeah, I can't. We would meet up on Tuesdays for like Tuesday lawn runs, and the Harper runners who would show up, they would get like 25% off on ice cream, and these were like really good flavors. I mean, we had like there was like regular chocolate, there was Zoreo, there mint chipped. I think they mixed like espresso with bourbon or some weird shit like that. But they had like a bunch of weird flavors, and my coach saw me like without an ice cream, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, well, I can't have ice cream because I have lactose intolerance. And he's like, well, we have soy ice cream. I mean, you can have that. But if it makes you feel any better, the flavors, they're making each of the flavors, their flavors come from Wisconsin. And I mean, as people know, Wisconsin is basically the milk capital of the United States, or at least the Midwest. And it takes them like a full day to churn each of their flavors. And during the churning process, apparently a lot of the lactose is eliminated. And I'm like, let me try this theory. I tried chocolate, I ate it, and usually, like, if I have Oberweis, within 30 minutes, I'm usually like farting up a storm. I mean, you would know.
America.
Yeah, America. Yeah, he would know better out of anyone. I'd be farting up a storm. But like, with this ice cream, it was like different. It felt smooth. It felt nice. My gut had no issues at all, and while driving back, I'm like, that's the best ice cream I've had in a long time. Because when you're lactose intolerant, and when you find out your world just flips, you cannot have regular milk. You got to get the lactose free, and then the lactose free stuff is not that good. So it was nice that I can have milk without it's still milk, but it's like processed in a way where the lactose is removed, so it's still real milk. And I was like, no, I don't want that soy nonsense. That stuff has. There's no way. Nobody is gonna ever convince me. There's no way you can ever milk an almond. Like, I don't know how you do that shit. Like, how do you milk an almond? I mean, if the process of making almond milk is like, you take a bunch of almonds, you put some water in it, and you blend that shit up, then what's orange juice? What's strawberry juice? I mean, we might as well call that strawberry milk orange milk. So
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know this milk word politics, but I'm like, that is not milk. Stop lying to me. That I want the real stuff. But yeah, that's my experience at
the school and the job.
Well,
right?
at the job, working at I was working at the popcorn shop. The reason I left was I didn't work at the coffee and ice cream shop, but I worked at the popcorn shop, and occasionally they would drop off some free coffee for us, so that was always nice. But the reason I left was like it was like during early 2021, and that's when like gas was 250, but it was like raising. I mean, right now it's like, I mean, I went to Sam's and I filled up for $3.34 back in Iowa when we were for the bits, and that's 20 cents cheaper than it is right now. So it raised by a full dollar. So because I was like driving an hour and a half to work every day, I was like, Waller, this is a great job. I learned a lot. I know I have to improve on a certain number of things, but like, I quit mainly because the commute was long. Because like I was making several mistakes on the job, and I admit like everybody's gonna make mistakes, but I think out of all the jobs that I've worked, I think working at the Signature Popcorn really, I learned a lot of things. I mean, you learn customer service, you learn presentation, because when we packed our popcorn, we wanted to make sure that like Waller always said when you scoop the popcorn, make sure you don't scoop all the way at the bottom, because when you scoop all the way at the bottom, you get the
seeds, right?
Yeah, the seeds, and you get the broken piece of a kernel. And over time, when you like packed the popcorn and sealed it up, we used a heat gun to seal it up. Like, it was a Ziploc bag, but then we sealed it up with a heat gun. There were examples where he was like, we don't want to show any of these like kernel pieces, because we're Signature Popcorn. We're not like all the other popcorn brands, and if we make good presentation, that's how we're gonna get orders from California, Los Angeles, like distant parts of the U.S. People who never heard of Eric Waller or his Signature Popcorn in small town Lawn Grove, Illinois. So that job taught me that presentation is very important, customer service important. If you have a long time loyal customer, like always provide them with the 20% discount because they're always coming back, they're always loyal, and we're making more money anyway, so we can always afford to give a discount to our most loyal customers who have been there for us from the beginning. So I mean, it's valuable skills that you can learn. And this guy, he did start after college, but to his business, but yeah, it's a small business. He's done good, and he's expanding. And Eric Waller, I've been proud to work with you. So for the time I got.
I hope he's watching. I really do.
Yeah, I think he maybe if I tell him.
Send him like an email or something.
Actually,
that'd be cool.
Did you know that Law ran with Eric Waller back in Schaumburg High School?
Really?
Yeah, like actually, like I was like, when I was volunteer coaching for you guys, he was like, oh, your assistant coach was Eric Waller, and I'm like, yeah, and he was like, yeah, I ran with him, and then like I text Waller and I'm like, hey, do you know Denny Law? And he's like, yeah. He just said yeah, and that's it. I'm like, okay, there was probably bad blood between you guys, so I'm not gonna go any further. But one time we were running, I was like, yeah, so you know Denny Law, and he's like, yeah, and that's about it. The conversation ended.
That's funny.
But yeah, fun fact.
Yeah.